Here are 5 of the more higher end webcams that you could purchase right now. Or 3 of them are higher end, 2 of them are Amazon webcams. The first webcam here is called an Amcrest AWC496. I have never heard of this brand before. I was gonna give it a shot. I saw some good reviews about it. This is a $50 webcam on Amazon. It shoots 2K, which is higher than HD. Not by much, but it's higher than HD. And it goes up to 30 frames. And it's a USB 2.0. The cable's attached. Has your tripod connection. And having played around with this webcam, I am not impressed. I do not recommend the Amcrest. The field of view on the Amcrest is 85 degrees. I think it's fixed focus because I didn't have an option to do autofocus or manual focus, so I think it's fixed focus. It's a small webcam, so I give it that, but I found the colors to be average, the audio okay. This is an audio test of the Amcrest webcam. I'm in a pretty airy room right now, so there's a lot of bouncing around in my audio, but this is what it sounds like with the Amcrest webcam audio. It was not reliable in different apps that I was using this in. So the Amcrest, if you're looking at this one, skip it. This one's not very good. This next webcam is a brand that I had reviewed previously that I highly recommended. This is the Angetube 920H Pro. This is a more recent release of this Angetube webcam. The previous version had a 100 degree field of view. This field of view has increased to 120 degree field of view. And 120 degrees, that is GoPro territory. That's really wide. And the frame rate can go all the way up to 60 frames in 1080. And it has manual focus here that you could dial in pretty precisely. And once you lock in that manual focus, I think it's one of the sharper webcams. The audio quality is pretty good. This is the audio from the Angetube 920H Pro. I'm about a foot away from the internal built-in mics of the Angetube 920H Pro. It has a tripod mount on the bottom, and I like the degree of swivel that you can do here. You can go left and right, up and down. It's got a lot of flexibility here. The plastic is better made than the Amcrest. The dynamic range is okay. It's better than the Amcrest. I think it's not as good, though, of the previous Angetube, but it's not bad. So if you're looking for a webcam that's $60 or less, I've seen these go to from between $50 and $60, depending on when you're looking on Amazon. And if you need that 120 degree field of view, that's the only reason why I would get the Angetube, actually, if you needed the 120, because 120 is very wide. So if you're in a really conference room, or if you're having more than one person in front of the camera, 120 is good. Other than that, maybe if you're shooting a fitness video and you want to shoot some fitness on a webcam, then yeah, 120 degree is good with manual focus. So that's the Angetube. The Logitech C930E, I had reviewed this in a previous video. This is my favorite HD webcam. This is a 90 degree field of view. It has a tripod on the bottom. This is really sturdy plastic. It goes up to 30 frames. It's about $130. If you see it more than 130, don't get it. But if you see it for 130 or less and you want an HD webcam, the Logitech C930E is pretty good. The microphones are okay. This is the audio from the Logitech C930E internal microphones. This is the audio test of the Logitech C930E. The colors I was really pleased with. I really like how the skin tones and just the colors in general, the look on the Logitech C930E as far as HD goes. The one issue with this is that sometimes if you have a ring light or another light source and everything else is dark, the Logitech C930E has a problem with compensating for when there's a spotlight in any part of the frame. So if there's a spotlight on you and your room is dark, or you have a window open in the back and you're not that lit, it has a lot of trouble, and it blows the highlights out. The best I could do is just repositioning myself or repositioning the webcam to avoid that bright spot. This is a Logitech Brio, which I also reviewed. It shoots 30 frames up to 4K and 60 frames in HD. It's modular, so this base can come off of this mount here. The mount doesn't have a tripod connection, which sucks. I don't know why it doesn't have that. But if you pull this part out, you can screw it on to a ball mount and control it all with whatever else you own, other accessories. The cable is also modular. It's a USB 3.0, but you can use USB 2.0 and it still works in 4K at 30p. The Brio has autofocus. It kind of hunts a little bit, but if you don't move around too much, the autofocus is the best autofocus in a webcam, I think. The colors are really rich. The 4K is great. Even when you're shooting in HD, it's very saturated and rich. And it has its own app. Logitech has its own capture app that works with the Brio, and also it works with a few other of the Logitech webcams, including the C930E. And when you're on that app, you can control and dial in a lot of the other settings like white balance, focus, and you can control the field of view. The widest field of view is 90, then it goes to around like 78, and then I think it goes to 60 something field of view. So you can expand it and shrink it using the app only. But straight out of the box, it looks really good, works with all the apps. The microphones, this is an audio test of the Logitech Brio's internal microphones. I'm about a foot away from the internal mics. I recommend this Logitech Brio to anyone who could afford a $200 webcam. It's been price gouged. I had bought this one for almost $300 on eBay, but now the prices are coming down. The last webcam, this is my newest webcam. This is an AVerMedia live streamer CAM513. I had never heard of AVerMedia, but they apparently are really big in the streamer, the Twitch streamer, the gamer realm. They have capture cards and other webcams. This one was $250. This is the most expensive webcam that I ever bought. Well, actually, I shouldn't say the most expensive because I did pay $300 for this Brio, but I overpaid. This is $250 from the manufacturer. This is a microphone check of the AVerMedia webcam. I'm about a foot away from the internal microphones of the AVerMedia 513 webcam. This has a 94-degree wide-angle field of view. So 94 is wider than the 90. The higher the number is, the wider the field of view is. And it shoots up to 4K 30 frames, just like the Brio. You can also do HD at 60 frames. And what sets this one apart is that it's also detachable cable, just like the Brio. This one does not detach this base, this connection point here, the mount, but it does have a 1/4-20 on the bottom, and this mount is 360-degree rotatable, which the Brio does not have in the built-in mount. So you could swing it all the way around. It's almost like a little mini ball mount here. That's very flexible, and if you have it on a tripod mount, you could really put it anywhere. I don't like the size. I think the size of this webcam is pretty big. Like if you can compare this to the Brio, it is almost double the size of the Brio, and it weighs, it's quite heavy. And it's a fixed focus. It's not autofocus. And once you get at a certain distance from it, I think it's about 2 to 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet from the webcam, everything is in focus. If you get closer than 2 feet, you're just going to be soft focus. The other good thing about this CAM513 is that it comes with an app. AVerMedia has an app. It's more fuller app if you have Windows. I have a Mac, and in the Mac version, they have a full version and a light version of their app. And what their app does, it opens and unlocks all of the manual controls in the webcam. So you can control the brightness, the contrast, the sharpness, the colors, the white balance, all that stuff. And I found this AVerMedia CAM513 to have the best dynamic range in a webcam. So if you're behind a window, or if you have a spotlight on you and it's just uneven lighting, this could, with the app, even everything out, and it looks really good. It almost just looks like a camcorder, like one of those 3-chip camcorders. This is probably the highest quality that you could get in a webcam. But at $250, if you already have a camera, so if you already have a DSLR camera, something like a GH5, or you have a cheaper mirrorless camera, and it has an HDMI port, if you just purchase a Elgato CamLink or one of these capture cards, this is probably a better way to go if you are going to spend $250 or $300 on a webcam and you already own a camera. If you don't own a camera that has a clean HDMI out, then yeah, and you want 4K webcam, these are the two heavyweights that I would purchase. Otherwise, if you have a camera, I don't know, just get a $130 capture card and you're set, and you can upgrade your camera and you'll always have this capture card. A few negatives with the AVerMedia webcam is that you can't get close to it. Like I said earlier, you have to be like a minimum of about 2 feet away for everything to be sharp and focused. So that, I think, is kind of a drawback. And the other drawback is you do need the app to make this webcam look good, whereas the Brio looks good right out of the box. So get the app, whether you have a PC or a Mac, for the AVerMedia. It's a necessary component. And the other thing I don't like about this, besides the size, is that as far as the cable goes, it's a USB 3.0 only. It only does USB 3.0. If you have a USB-C 2.0, it will not work on this webcam. The same cable that works on the Brio, I bought this other cable, just a generic USB-C cable that's USB-C 2.0. It worked fine on the Brio, but then once I plugged it into the AVerMedia CAM513, it just didn't work. So you definitely need, and you have to make sure, a USB 3.0 quality cable in order for this to work, or just use the cable that comes with it. It does come with a cable. I think it's a little too long and chunky, so that's why I always go and try to find a thinner right angle cable. Yeah, so those are the drawbacks with AVerMedia. Other than that, I would say this is the best webcam, but the Brio is a better value, I think, for a 4K webcam.